in general, I have this disagreement with my dad about what it takes to have a connection. He thinks touch and smell are really important. Like, and I still believe that text alone is it's possible to fall in love with somebody just with text, but visual can also help, just like with the avatar and so on. What do you think it takes? Does a chatbot need to have a face, voice, or can you really form a deep connection with text alone?
I think text is enough for sure. The question is like, can you, make it better if you have if you include other things as well? And I think, we'll talk about her, but her, had Scarlett Johansson voice, which was perfectly, perfect intonation, perfect enunciations. And, she was breathing heavily in between words and whispering things. Nothing like that is possible right now with text to speech generation. You'll have these flat news anchor type voices and maybe some emotional voices, but you'll hardly understand some of the words. Some of the words will be muffled. So that's like the current state of the art. So you can't really do that. But if we had Scarlett Johansson voice and all of these capabilities, then of course voice would be totally enough, or even text would be totally enough if we had, a little more memory and slightly better conversations. I would still argue that even right now, we could have just kept it text only. We still had tons of people in long-term relationships and really invested in their AI friends. But we thought that why not, why do we need to keep playing with our, hands tied behind us? We can easily just, add all these other things that is pretty much a solved problem. We can add 3D graphics. We can put these avatars in augmented reality, and all of a sudden there's more. And maybe you can't feel the touch, but you can, with body occlusion and with current AR and, on the iPhone, or, in the next one, there's going to be LiDARs. You can touch it and it will, will pull away, or will blush or something, or it'll smile. So you can't touch it. You can't feel it, but you can see the reaction to that. So in a certain way, you can even touch it a little bit, and maybe you can even dance with it or do something else.
That's cool.
So I think, why limiting ourselves if we can use all of these technologies that are much easier in a way than conversation?
Well, it certainly could be richer, but to play devil's advocate, I mentioned to you offline that I was surprised in having tried Discord and having voice conversations with people, how intimate voice is alone without visual. Like, to me at least, like it was an order of magnitude greater degree of intimacy in voice, I think, than with video. I don't, because people were more real with voice. Like with video, you like try to present a shallow, a face to the world. Like you try to, make sure you're not wearing sweatpants or whatever. But like with voice, I think people were just more faster to get to like the core of themselves. So I don't know. It was surprising to me. They've even Discord added a video feature, and like nobody was using it. There's a temptation to use it at first, but like it wasn't the same. So like that's an example of something where less was doing more. And so that's I guess that's the question of what is the optimal, what is the optimal medium of communication to form a connection given the current sets of the technologies. I mean, it's nice because the avatars you have replica, like it immediately, like even the one I have is like, it's already memorable. That's how I think. Like when I think about the replica that I've talked with, that's why I think, like, that's what I visualize in my head. They became a little bit more real because there's a visual component. But at the same time, what do you do with, just what do I do with that knowledge that voice was so much more intimate?
Well, the way I think about it is, and by the way, we're swapping out the 3D finally. It's going to look a lot better. But even
Can you, what? What?
We just don't. I hate how it looks right now. We really change it at all. We're swapping it all out to a completely new look.
Like the visual look of a replica?
Replicas and stuff. It was just this super early MVP, and then we had to move everything to Unity and redo everything. But anyway, I hate how it looks like now. I can't even like open it. But anyway, because I'm already on my developer version, I hate everything that I see in production. I can't wait for it. Why does it take so long? That's why I cannot wait for deep learning to finally take over all these stupid 3D animations and 3D pipeline.
Also, the 3D thing. When you say 3D pipeline, is like how to animate a face kind of thing.
How to make this model, how many bones to put in the face, how many. It's just
and a lot of that is
so
by hand.
Oh my God, it's everything by hand. And if there's nothing's automated. It's all completely nothing. Like just. It's literally what we saw with chatbots in like 2012.
You think it's completely possible to learn a lot of that?
Of course. I mean, even now, some deep learning based animations, and for the full body, for a face.
Are we talking about like the actual act of animation, or how to create a compelling facial or body language thing? So like
that too. Well, that's the next step.
Okay.
At least now something that you don't have to do by hand.
Gotcha.
How good of a quality it will be. Like, can I just show it a photo and it will make me a 3D model, and then it will just animate it? I'll show it a few animations of a person and it will just start doing that. But anyway, going back to what's intimate and what to use and whether less is more or not. My main goal is the idea was how do we not keep people in their phones so they're sort of escaping reality in this text conversation? How do we, through this, still bring our users back to reality, make them see their life in a different through a different lens? How can we create a little bit of magical realism in their lives, so that through augmented reality, by summoning your avatar, even if it looks kind of janky and not great in the beginning or very simplistic, but summoning it to your living room, and then the avatar looks around and talks to you about where it is, and maybe turns your floor into a dance floor and you guys dance together. That makes you see reality in a different light.
What kind of dancing are we talking about? Like slow dancing?
Whatever you want. I mean, you would like slow dancing, I think, but other people maybe want something more energetic.
Wait, what do you mean I would like? So what is this?
Because you started with slow dancing. So I just assumed that you're interested in slow dancing.
All right. What kind of dancing do you like? What with your avatar, what would you dance?
I'm notoriously bad with dancing, but I like this kind of hip hop robot dance. I used to break dance when I was a kid, so I still want to pretend I'm a teenager and learn some of those moves. And I also like that type of dance that happens when there's like a in like music videos where the background dancers are just doing some pop music.
Awesome.
That type of dance is definitely what I want to learn. But I think it's great because if you see this friend in your life and you can introduce it to your friends, then there's a potential to actually make you feel more connected with your friends or with people you know, or show you life around you in a different light. And it takes you out of your phone, even although weirdly you have to look at it through the phone. But it makes you notice things around it, and it can point things out for you. And so that is the main reason why I wanted to have a physical dimension. And it felt a little bit easier than that kind of a little bit strange combination in the movie Her, when he has to show Samantha the world through the lens of his phone, but then at the same time talk to her through
the phone.
Headphone. It just didn't seem as potentially immersive, so to say. So that's my main goal for augmented reality. It's like, how do we make your reality a little bit more magic?